Did you know that where you live dictates what you get? Even one side of the street can be completely different to another because every part of our lives is affected by a line on a map and a few letters and numbers. Well, I'm here to get you a better deal and to reveal what is really going on in the postcode lottery. And in today's programme, the couple caught in a baby business postcode lottery.
It's not as if I'm even being greedy, just one child. That's all we want, isn't it?
It's not a lot to ask for, is it?
1 in 6 couples in the UK have trouble falling pregnant. Now that's difficult enough to deal with without the added complication of being caught in the IVF postcode lottery. And that is exactly what is happening to thousands of people in this country, including the couple in our next story. Portsmouth, on the south coast of England, is home to Sarah and Levi Johnson. Happily married for 6 years, they want for only one thing to make their lives complete: a baby.
Everybody thinks they're going to go on to marry and have children, and you never think that you might have problems in having children. You just think it's a natural thing to reproduce and, you know, your children to carry on your name. Well, we've been trying for like 6 years now, so it's, you know, it's draining, it's emotional, and there's days when I just can't leave the house and I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to see anybody that's pregnant. I don't want to speak to anyone that's pregnant. I'd just rather stay at home and, you know, my little safe haven, so to speak.
Sarah's attempts to conceive naturally have been complicated by a string of related medical conditions. Sarah has polycystic ovaries, endometriosis and fibroids. All of them make getting pregnant that much harder. Throughout her marriage to Levi, Sarah has been taking medication to manage these conditions. Until recently, they were also receiving help trying to get pregnant naturally.
We were under a fertility consultant, had all the various tests and procedures that they wanted to check. And then basically he just turned around on an appointment and said, there's nothing more we can do for you. You know, that's it. Unless you've got £5,000 or, you know, you want to remortgage or get a loan. So that was it. That was the end of, you know, anybody doing anything for us, really. It was heartbreaking. I came out and just burst into tears and, you know, I thought my whole life had ended.
It's devastating watching Sarah go for it. It's heartbreaking because you just want to put your arms around her and give her a big cuddle because you feel it's not so much pity, you just try and understand what she's going through. You just can't imagine the pain, what it's been like to be told, there's nothing more we can do for you, you can't have children, that's it, go away.
For most people in Sarah and Levi's position, the solution is IVF on the NHS. IVF, in vitro fertilisation, is a laboratory procedure in which a woman's egg cell is fertilised by a man's sperm outside of the human body. The fertilised egg is then transferred back into the woman's uterus, where hopefully a successful full-term pregnancy will occur. Here in Britain, we are pioneers in IVF. In 1978, the world's first test tube baby, Louise Brown, was born in Manchester. And for the past 25 years, thousands more test tube babies have followed. In 2009, 12,714 IVF babies were born in the UK. And in 2010, over 45,000 more British women had IVF treatment. So how is it that in a nation of medical miracles and bouncing babies, thousands more are still being denied access to this potentially life-changing treatment? The postcode lottery, of course. Under the current guidelines, the National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence, or NICE for short, recommend that couples who meet the criteria for IVF receive 3 free cycles of treatment on the NHS. But as Sarah and Levi were about to discover, the problem and the postcode lottery lies in how your local primary care trust interpret one little word: criteria.
I can't have IVF because I don't meet the criteria.
Each primary care trust has a different list of criteria that every applicant has to meet before they will even be considered for IVF. And the criteria list for Portsmouth's PCT is particularly rigorous.
Your BMI has to be under 30, you have to be under 35 years old, a non-smoker, don't drink, and no previous children from any partner whatsoever.
Sarah and Levi fail Portsmouth's criteria on 2 counts. Her BMI, her body mass index, is slightly higher than the recommended calculation, something which she could address by losing a little weight, but what she cannot change is that Levi has a child from a previous relationship.
I think it's totally unfair because life's not like that anymore. You know, people get married, they get divorced, they start new relationships, they remarry. You know, they should not be denied the chance to have children, you know, in a loving family.
Even if Sarah did meet all the criteria, Portsmouth only offers 1 course of IVF treatment per couple instead of the 3 courses recommended by NICE. Furthermore, since her original application for IVF, Sarah has also fallen foul of yet another rule. She has crossed the PCT's 30 to 35 years of age treatment window.
I'm older now, so I haven't started treatment within the age gap, so I am classed as too old for IVF.
Down the coast in Brighton, Sarah's age would not have been an issue. Brighton PCT offer IVF to couples until the NICE recommended age of 39. They also allow the recommended 3 treatments per couple. But Sarah's case is just the tip of the iceberg. It seems every primary care trust has a different set of criteria, and thousands of couples are caught up in this postcode lottery right across the country. Couples like Linda and Aaron Knoll. With NICE's recommended age range for treatment being between 23 and 39 years of age, 32-year-old Linda thought she'd be ideally placed to receive IVF treatment from her PCT in Surrey, only to find that the PCT will only offer IVF if you are 39, not a year younger, not a year older, which is all the more nonsensical when you realise that IVF's general success rate of 25% falls sharply for anyone over 35 years of age. Maybe the Knowles should consider moving to Ayrshire and Arran, or the Borders where there is no minimum age, and eligible couples can have their 3 full cycles. Although they should think twice before moving to the Midlands, most of the PCTs there have a maximum age policy for male partners. There's also a cross-country postcode lottery on previous children. In Portsmouth, as we know, it's an absolutely no previous children policy. But in Bolton, 1 partner is allowed to have a child from a previous relationship. But hats off to the very generous City and Hackney, where as long as you've no children in your current relationship, they'll allow you a maximum of 4 from your previous ones. Confused? Well, it could be worse. You could be in Warrington, North Yorkshire and York, West Sussex, Stockport or North Staffordshire. If you do live in any of these PCTs and are hoping for IVF on the NHS, then the stark response is, forget it. They don't offer any IVF treatments whatsoever. The result of all these arbitrary variations is that real people, like the Knowles and the Johnsons, get caught up in the IVF postcode lottery. But whilst many feel powerless, others continue to fight.
I've started a petition online to try and get the criteria changed and the postcode lottery stopped. The criteria should be the same across the whole of the UK. I want to get the numbers up to about 1,000 signatures and then hopefully deliver it to 10 Downing Street.
Sarah continues her own personal battle for IVF and is currently on her 3rd and final appeal.
There is someone out there that can help us, and so I'll just keep fighting until I eventually get my child. It's not as if I'm even being greedy, just 1 child. That's all we want, isn't it?
So it's not a lot to ask for, is it?
We'll be back later with some very interesting developments with Sarah and Levi's case. Earlier in the programme, we brought you the story of Sarah and Levi and their fight against the IVF postcode lottery in their hometown of Portsmouth. Well, since we first filmed, there's been some interesting developments in their case. When we contacted Portsmouth Primary Care Trust, they told us For reasons of patient confidentiality, we cannot comment on individual cases, but NHS Portsmouth, like other primary care trusts in the South Central region, follow policy guidelines which state that IVF is only normally funded according to strict criteria based on a range of evidence, including age and whether the treatment is likely to succeed. So, imagine our surprise when this article appeared in the Daily Telegraph a few weeks ago. It was the story of how Donna and Dean Marshall had successfully appealed against their local PCT's decision to deny them IVF. Just like Sarah and Levi, Donna and Dean were on the borderline of meeting the age criteria. And just like Levi, Dean had a child from a previous relationship. But here's the rub. The PCT who Donna and Dean had won their appeal against was Portsmouth. Donna and Dean's MP had put them in touch with a lawyer who specialises in fertility cases, and she had successfully appealed to overturn Portsmouth's PCT's decision. Donna and Dean are now receiving IVF on the NHS, and we are happy to report that Sarah and Levi are also in contact with the lawyer who won Donna and Dean's case.